Herobrine, an urban legend that is quite famous in the Minecraft community. But have you ever wondered where this name came from, or who exactly is Herobrine? Many more similar, complicated, and even bizarre questions might arise in one's mind about who, what, and where is Herobrine. But the answer will always remain the same. I'm Alan, and this is the tale of Herobrine. It was the year 2010. Minecraft was growing exponentially with many amazing features like the survival multiplayer just being introduced at that time. Minecraft wasn't the high-end game that we all know today. It had its bugs, poor graphics, the mysterious short-rendered fog, the scary nights, and just the atmosphere of the game in general, which paved the way for an urban legend called Herobrine to be born. It was the start of the month August, the year 2010. An unidentified user posted a single image with a story on 4chan's X paranormal board. The image didn't stand out very much at the first glance, but on a closer examination, it does get very disturbing. To describe the image, a player is facing a chicken and a steadily rising small mountain, which is surrounded by a couple of trees, which are engulfed by the short render fog. But that wasn't the main attraction of the image. On the edges of the mountain stood a figure so lifelessly which resembled that of the default Steve skin in Minecraft, except for the eyes, which were absent. The anonymous player that posted this image made some rather strange and disturbing claims in the story which was alongside the image. He said that this figure would stalk him on his single-player Minecraft world by standing far enough to be out of reach, but close enough to observe the player. He also made claims that this entity of sort would often change the terrain and structures that are generated in his world in rather peculiar ways, which included that of the trees being stripped of their leaves, digging a 2x2 tunnel across many mountains, and building a perfect pyramid out of sand blocks. But the story doesn't end there. Frightened, this user went on the Minecraft forums, hoping that other players had found this entity, to which he saw that he was the only one who had discovered that mysterious entity. Puzzled, he created his own thread regarding this mysterious incident, but that post was deleted within 5 minutes. He made another post regarding the same incident, but this time it was deleted even faster. And he received a message from a user named Herobrine, which, to add to his frightfulness, had only one word: stop. As the saying goes, curiosity is rather a strange and troubling thing. He visited the profile of this Herobrine named user, to which he was greeted by a 404 page not found. Later on, he received an email from a sketchy person making claims that he had also seen this lifeless Steve with no eyes figure as well, and that he knew a small directory of people who have had similar experiences, which included the man-made structures in their Minecraft world. Later on, as time passed, this mysterious figure that haunted people's world came to be known as Herobrine, a gamer tag of a long-dead brother of Notch, the game developer. The anonymous user who posted on the Minecraft forums emailed Notch and asked him if he had a brother, to which after a long time he emailed back. And the response that he made rather stirred up a horror in the Minecraft community. I did, but he is no longer with us. This little email rose many questions. Is Herobrine a friend or a foe? Is he a game feature or just some little bug that occurred in real life, which only occurs in movies when ghosts come near electronics? Of course, that wasn't true. There never really existed a figure named Herobrine. And these questions may sound silly at this day and age, but it was not funny at that time. The truth behind the origin of the name Herobrine is something that we may not know, or unlikely we will ever know, as this incident is over a decade old. But I believe it is safe to assume that the incident related to the forums, the Herobrine message, gave the name to the mysterious figure rather than the dead brother story. Nevertheless, the lifeless Steve was given the name Herobrine. This was the base upon which many awful and disturbing stories were woven. If we talk about the legitimacy of the image that was posted, it is hard to say, to be honest, because the image was taken in the version Alpha 1.0.16 and multiplayer was introduced in the previous version. So the anonymous player may have just invited a friend over on his world and edited out the disturbing eyes, or just maybe even use a textured door or a painting. Even if this was a prank, the user sure did carve a way for the development of a silly and horror friction figure that came to be known as Herobrine. But of course, this idea of Herobrine would have died down after a few months, if not for certain streamers, Copeland and Padimus, who took advantage of this Herobrine sighting to gain fame. While the tea of Herobrine was being brewed, a streamer named Copeland, who streams on msvideostream.com, he came across the Herobrine story that was getting a lot of people's attention. In the same year, he created a new stream on Minecraft entitled Brocraft. Later on, for experimental purposes, he took a screenshot of his survival world in which he streamed and photoshopped Herobrine in it, and later he posted it in the Brocraft chat. After seeing the reaction of his viewers, he got the idea of including this Herobrine figure in his next stream to stir up confusion and create a sense of mystery within his viewers. And the way he did it was very clever, retexturing a Minecraft painting. Before starting the stream, he placed the retextured painting in one of his survival houses that he would be showing off in the following stream. On August 30th, 2010, he started the stream acting perfectly normal and that nothing was wrong. For a good 20 minutes of the stream, he showed off his build, did normal things that wouldn't make him look suspicious, and avoiding the door in one of the corners of the room. Around the 20 minutes 45-second mark, he thought that it would be a good time to start the act of Herobrine. He started to notice the door on one of the corners of the room. Upon opening the door, he was greeted by the lifeless eyes of Herobrine. Engulfed with fear, he quickly ended the stream and fled the room, throwing his audience in a state of terror and confusion. Later on, since the stream was off, he removed the painting and started another stream later that day, and showing that Herobrine was gone, but perfectly convincing his audience that Herobrine was real. Later on, Copeland posted a thread on the Minecraft forums with the video link to his stream stating video proof of him and redirecting people to the last 2 minutes of his stream and stating he's real. Today, this idea just exists as clickbait YouTube videos. Regardless, the stream caught a lot of people's attention and became a total success. Seeing this, many other streamers and creators took inspiration. Apart from Copeland, another creator named Padimus took the Herobrine illusion to the next level. Padimus came across Herobrine floating over a lake of lava. Many people debated on how this was pulled off, but it is said that Patmos used a retextured door, unlike Copeland, who used a painting. Nevertheless, both Copeland and Patmos's reactions were somewhat similar, showing fear and confusion and fleeing at first, and then returning to the area only to find Herobrine gone. But in reality, they had just removed the retextured object. Furthermore, Patmos was heard talking to his wife, stating that the whole Herobrine thing was staged. Several hours later, after Patmos' stream, Copeland posted a link of a webpage in the Brocraft chat, which redirected you to a page entitled him.html, whose contents were just as disturbing. It had a Herobrine head, but his eyes were replaced with a photorealistic eyes that were in a loop, looking left, down, right, and up continuously, below which was gibberish mixture of numbers and letters when rearranged read as follows. It has been reported that some of the victims of torture during the act would retreat into a fantasy world from which they could not wake up. In this catatonic stage, the victim lived in a world just like their normal one, except they weren't being tortured. The only way that they realized they needed to wake up was a note they found in their fantasy world. It would tell them about their condition and tell them to wake up. Even then, it would often take months until they were ready to discard their fantasy world. And please, wake up. And this was Copeland's last trick when it came to the Herobrine story. Many years have passed since these occurrences, and both Copeland and Patmos have been long forgotten on the internet. On August 31st, a player reached out to Notch asking if Herobrine really existed in Minecraft or not, to which Notch replied, "It is not real, but it might be soon." This made most of the community ponder whether Herobrine would be added to the game or not. And for the next few months, tales of Herobrine spread like wildfire, from player to player, where each story said was a bit different from the previous one. Some even say Herobrine was once a Steve who was bullied in school, and is a 17-year-old high school boy, who, after learning he has telekinetic powers, destroys his high school during a revenge on his lifelong bully Thomas White. The attack caused Steve to lose control of his power and become Herobrine. Boy, do we all want to destroy our school to get holidays. And they just weaved up from some of the most silliest to funniest stories to some of the most gruesomest stories ever to be known in the Minecraft history. Some actually came up with the idea that he was a glitch in the game and that he couldn't be fixed. On May 31st, 2011, Notch posted the changelog for beta 1.6.6, which included the famous figure Herobrine in a sentence, "Removed Herobrine." This was another sign that Notch had gotten in on the Herobrine joke. But for some people that feared Herobrine, this single sentence threw that community into a complete panic and made them believe that Herobrine was real. Which, of course, isn't true, since Herobrine never really existed and probably never will. But the twisted tales that spread from player to player made this Herobrine joke even more interesting to believe. Although there might be a group of players that understood the Herobrine joke and loved it, and even understood that he, or rather it, never really existed in-game. But somewhere deep down they also wished for Herobrine to actually exist as a part of the game, and not just some urban legend. And that's what happened next. On July 29th, 2011, a Minecraft forums user named Burner released the Herobrine mod 1.0. This mod allowed the urban legend Herobrine that existed in the community to actually take shape and be true. This included a mob named Herobrine and some other features that really paved way to the development of the Herobrine lore. Some people later on came up with the concept of summoning Herobrine, which in and of itself sounded very ridiculous. The Herobrine lore and the Herobrine myth was being fed even more false rumors. Additional features to the mods were added later on, which included that of controlling mobs to harm players and placing traps for some of the players. On August 12, 2011, the wedding weekend poster included Herobrine as one of the background characters. And on November of 2011, the official trailer of Minecon included him again. The year 2012 was one of the most important years when it came to the development of the Herobrine story. It was a year where Minecraft genre machinima was growing more and more popular in the Minecraft community, which was very ideal for the Herobrine lore to develop. On February 17, 2012, a YouTuber named Rejected Shotgun started his 24-episode-long haunting series that revolved around Herobrine, which managed to grab several million viewers' attention over the years. A few months later, a Reddit post was made by Notch, clearly stating that he was fascinated by the Herobrine lore, and that Herobrine wasn't real and all the silly stuffs and claims made were all false. On April 1, 2012, Captain Sparkles and Tryhard Ninja released a music video for a parody, Fallen Kingdom, which starred the famous Herobrine as an antagonist. Similarly, Slamaka released another music video named Cubeland by Laura Shigehara, which again had Herobrine starring as the main villain. On May 26, 2012, Notch kept receiving tweets and mails regarding Herobrine, to which he responded again, but with a rather blunt tone, getting lots of tweets and emails regarding Herobrine again. I don't have a dead brother, and he was never in the game. Not real, never was. But even this blunt tweet made by Notch couldn't stop the Herobrine lore to develop even further. On July 19, 2012, a YouTuber named Space Waffle uploaded a video stating, "I found Herobrine Minecraft Pocket Edition," which caught eyes of millions of people due to his over-exaggerating reaction. On August of 2012, a Minecraft developer named Dinnerbone emphasized that Herobrine would not be added to the game anytime soon. But regardless, Herobrine was already created in the minds of players and his lore has already developed over the past years, to the point that people started making mods for him to be real. Later on November 3rd, 2012, Hypixel made a map called Herobrine's Mansion, which had a sequel called Herobrine's Return on March 15th. And similar stuff was made later on, continuing the legend and giving it some modifications. This was a trend that was going to continue for the rest of time, but 2020 and 2021 had different plans for Herobrine. Over the years, on YouTube and other platforms, streamers and creators have claimed that they have found Herobrine, but all of that is nothing but filthy lies and skits, similar to what Copeland and Patmos did. And as time passed, the development of Herobrine lore was not significant, and it was just the same silly pranks done by creators and players in order to get attention. So the only real evidence of this event occurring is the screenshot that was posted by that one unidentified user all those years ago. So how about finding more about that, and maybe even uncover some hidden facts about Herobrine? The people who grew up listening to the silly tales of Herobrine started to look back and try to investigate. As the years passed, the methods of finding seeds for creepy Minecraft images came to life, and the discovery of seeds such as pack.png, title screen paranoma was done. But this one mysterious seed where Herobrine was first spotted was still a mystery, and even more like a puzzle that had no solution to. But the lies and jokes weren't bearable anymore, so to find the seed, people traveled back in time, back to the first image posted in August of 2010. So the main question was, what was the seed that gave birth to the legend Herobrine that haunted Minecraft for over a decade? As simple as the question may sound, the answer was complex and the process was hectic. The methods used to find the seeds like pack.png and title screen paranoma or even the landscape of the skull painting were not applicable here, as the image lacked a lot of crucial features such as clouds and flower formation that they used to find the seeds of the above mentioned images. So the team wore their thinking hats. The Minecraft at Home team, led by Andrew555, started this mission to crack the seeds with the very little information that could be seen through the original post. The first piece of the puzzle was to determine the player's orientation, which was easily done by the direction affected dirt texture, and was concluded that the player was facing negative x-axis. And due to the Minecraft Alpha's buggy terrain, it helped easing the workload on their shoulders by a factor of 16. When they noticed that the terrain anomaly, which was present only in chunks with X and Z coordinate which had multiples of 4. And with that, the second piece of the puzzle was found. To get the third part of the puzzle, the trees were a big help. Allow me to explain. The trees spawn in the population stage of the world generation, which takes place after the terrain generation. The odds of one large tree spawning is 1 by 10. Moreover, there were 2 big trees adjacent to each other in the picture that was posted, and whether these 2 trees were in the same chunk or adjacent ones, it narrowed down their options even more. Later on, a recreation of the scene was made to ensure that all the details were right. A lot of work and time was being put into this project, hoping that it would be all worth it. After a few months of research, the results were shocking. It was null. Nothing. Futile attempts on debugging were made, but it was all in vain, since the results remained the same. But it all changed the next year. On January 15th, 2021, the following was concluded. Could it have been a wrong leaf all along? There were some pixels missing. Later on, intermediate results were concluded, and within 24 hours, the culprit was caught. The seed was found. The decade-long mystery was finally solved. Now, players can use that seed and relive that foggy day in August of 2010. Which begs the question, was it all planned, or was it a complete accident? What was going through the mind of the original creator when he came up with this story? Was that one unidentified user eager to make an urban legend so fascinating that it would change the Minecraft history entirely? At that moment, it could have been anything: a glitch, a bug, an unrendered object, anything like that. But at that moment, they decided they saw Herobrine. That decision they made on that foggy day impacted the evolution of the Minecraft community.